Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
I don't think he was trying to take a shot at the team at all. It was just a plain and simple and obvious fact.
I think what's difficult, though, is, and I agree with you, right? I guess I agree with LeBron. The assessment of it all, it's why the Lakers organization seems to be comfortable with that truth, unless they disagree. But again, I don't really know how you disagree.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
You guys had 2 weeks to prepare for this game. You knew you were facing a Mike McDonald defense that disguises everything, and that was your game plan, to play scared. I mean, Mike Vrabel, I love the guy. He played that game, Donnie, like it was a preseason scrimmage in August and not the Super Bowl.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
It looked like a clump of grass. It didn't look like an eagle. That's the one, by the way, that USA Today claimed was the best ad. They thought the Lay's ad was number 2. The worst ad was any ad that had AI in it or had an AI company behind it. It wasn't because of the AI. It was because they were the most nonsensical ads you've ever seen. Does anybody look at these ads and understand if they are actually trying to do what they're trying to do, which is to showcase the product as opposed to being great with AI? Very embarrassing.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
It is a Thursday right here on the SportsGrid Network. This is the early line. Over the next 2 hours, we have you covered on a multitude of topics, which includes the NBA is back in our lives. Well, I mean, considering that they did have an all-star weekend, you got to watch NBA superstars. They're back with their respective teams, and lines are absolutely flying this morning. We'll get to that a little bit later. We told you yesterday, if you watch college basketball, it could be a profitable night with a sweep for the boys last night. Nice 2-0. We'll see if we could do it again on a Thursday. You got to stay tuned for that. And also, it was a college basketball game yesterday that Joe and I previewed. We said, wait a second, 183.5 points? How could that game possibly go over? Final score, 117-115. We'll find out more about that as well. Hot topics all the way through gold medal games today in women's hockey. Boy, oh boy, what a show we have for the people. I'm Donnie Rightside. He's Joe Ranieri, and away we go.
Love it, Donnie. Excited. Don't forget spring training baseball also getting ready to take center stage. Just saying, baseball is back, Donnie.
Yeah, what's more important right now for baseball, to actually get on the field and practice and play, or the NFL or the Players Association to get their leader, which they have now, or will we even be playing baseball next year? That's all fine and good, but the hot topic of the day is served up right now.
Well, Donnie, in honor of the NBA finally going back to work, I think we need to talk about an absolute national treasure we have. And no, I am not talking about a monument or an arena. I am talking about Kevin Durant and his legendary, undefeated run on the internet. Now, over the All-Star break, Donnie, you might not have heard, but we have yet another Kevin Durant burner account scandal that dropped. And folks, it is pure gold, vintage Durant. Now, we all know Katie loves his burners, but this latest one, it is a masterclass in passive-aggressive workplace behavior, Donnie. Now, internet sleuths have tracked down the account under the handle @GetHire77. And what was this account doing? Well, it was dropping absolute nukes on current and former teammates in group chats. According to the screenshots, not KD was out here saying, well, his new Rocket teammate, for instance, Alperen Sengun, he doesn't shoot or defend. He also said that he couldn't trust Jabari Smith Jr. to hit a single shot or ever get a stop. And he didn't spare the former teammates either, because he went after Devin Booker, complaining that Book got all the credit when the Suns won, while KD took all the blame for the losses. He questioned holding Steph Curry accountable. And my personal favorite, he allegedly called Russell Westbrook a, quote, triple-double cocaine bear, end quote. And how did Durant handle it when the media finally cornered him at practice yesterday? Did he deny it? Of course not. He just shrugged it off as Twitter nonsense and claimed his teammates know what it is. Meanwhile, Sengun and his head coach completely dodged the questions altogether. And you know why? Because they know it's him. And honestly, we should applaud this, right, Donnie? I mean, Kevin Durant is doing exactly what every single person watching this right now wishes they could do. Log on to a secret account and absolutely roast the coworkers who aren't carrying their weight. We spend all day complaining about the NBA being soft, and here is a first ballot Hall of Famer holding people accountable from a digital trench. NBA fans, embrace it. It might be a disaster for the Houston Rockets locker room, but for the rest of us, Donnie, it might be the most entertaining thing happening in the association right now.
It's fantastic the way it goes out. And sometimes you just can't admit it. You want to hopefully it moves on. But people roasting people behind the scenes happens in every organization. At the SportsGrid Network, we just roast people live on the air most of the time. That's how we get down. But KD, just admit it. Which the reason why he didn't admit it was because he's basically admitting it, but not admitting it at the same time. Hey, look, can we just move on? That means you know it's true. I know it's true. We don't have to talk any further about this. And I don't need to have a war in my locker room. It is what it is. But KD and the Burners have always been out there. You know this. The early lineup ready to go. The hottest topics, which includes yesterday. What were you doing in the afternoon? Overtime action. Team USA with an absolute rip from Quinn Hughes. 2-1 victory here. It took to 3-on-3. And USA was pitching a shutout, Joe, for the entire game. Then with about a minute to go, bang, 1-1. I said, oh no, USA's going down. Saved in overtime. They advance.
Yeah, Hellebuck was phenomenal right up until the final, 90 seconds where they let up a goal. But it was a great goal, too. It wasn't a cheap goal. Great. And, give Sweden credit, man. They had put the pressure on them all game long. But the hero has to emerge, right? And boy, oh boy, did it emerge yesterday. And I thought the best part about that goal, Donnie, is that they were actually trying to sub him off of the ice, and he refused to leave the ice and said, I got this. And certainly he did. What a unbelievable blast to get Team USA to the semifinals.
One step closer to a gold medal here. How about Canada and Czechia yesterday? A 4-3 victory, also in overtime, which saw Canada have to come back from a 3-2 lead late in that game and then win it in overtime. But Sidney Crosby banged up in that game. We'll see if he comes back to the Olympics. A lot of question marks here.
Yeah, as if the Team USA overtime wasn't enough. Are you not entertained yet watching this go down? My goodness. Team Canada almost gets ousted, Donnie. And I know there were a lot of people that have contracts sitting right now in the predictive markets that were like, you got to be kidding me. Canada's not making it to the gold medal round. But boy, oh boy, that was Mitch Marner, of all people, gets it done in overtime. And they advance here. But both Team USA and Canada have their hands full right now.
By the way, 4 games in the knockout stage yesterday. 3 went to overtime. Olympic hockey, man, as good as it gets here. Rasheed Rice, another lawsuit, another day. Can we just figure out that he's not a good guy? And how much more backbending is Andy Reid going to be like, hey, can't give up on the guy, got to give him a second chance until they actually have to pay him his second contract. That'll be the day.
Yeah, and it always seems to be the same thing. I mean, it's the same girlfriend. It's the same mother. I don't understand what is going on with him and these people, because now she's seeking $1 million in damages for alleged acts of physical assault. And listen, where there's smoke, there's fire. At some point, dude, you got to grow up. Otherwise, they're letting you go, and nobody else is picking you up either with that kind of baggage.
Oh, but they're just targets, They make a lot of money. It can happen to anybody. Why doesn't it happen to Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson? Stop the madness, man. If you are a bad guy, badness follows you all around. That's exactly what happens. And this won't be the last that we hear from lawsuits probably against Rasheed Rice here. JT Toppin. This is a shame here. You want to talk about a team that's looking to win a national championship, legitimate thoughts on doing that, then losing their best player? Texas Tech is going through that right now, Joe. And you talked about some of the odds dropping for BYU yesterday, dropping like a rock for Texas Tech as well.
Yeah, I mean, just Terrible. Absolutely terrible situation. You don't want to see it. We just watched it, like you said, Donnie, with one of BYU's better forwards there, and Richie Saunders, and now Texas Tech can ill afford, and they lost that game on Tuesday to Arizona State to add insult to injury. So just not great right now for Texas Tech or college basketball for that matter.
As Oprah Winfrey used to say, you get a car, but now we change it to you get surgery. Tanking teams, everybody gets a free surgery if they want it, and that's what's going on there for the Sacramento Kings. How about this latest one? Levine and Sabonis out for the year. Everybody, just get your surgery now.
That's it. I mean, why wait, right? Get it done now. Let's just finish the season on a losing note, and we'll be fine next year, right? Hopefully we get a couple of ping pong balls, and we're on our way up in the world in the NBA.
Joe, what's the most powerful thing that you can use? That's right. It's a pen right here. See this pen right here? In the right person's hands can wipe away $30 to $40 million of salary cap space that you can use. Patrick Mahomes, he had this pen. The Chiefs had this pen. He made a lot of money, and now they can spend even more money, Joe.
Yes, that's correct. But let's face it here, Mahomes, nothing new here. Brady did this for years to make sure that he could compete for Super Bowl championships. Welcome to the club.
How about the Boston Red Sox upset, or at least their fans are upset with the quality of their jerseys? Get used to it. Nothing is as good as what it used to be here, and just accept the lower quality. Whether it's fast food, Joe, restaurant, or just your team's favorite jerseys here. The way it is. We'll be right back after this short break.
Like, Dan, this is going to be a year where we're going to really find out if prediction markets are going to kind of work beyond what we currently know. Because while they are expanding and other companies are certainly getting into it, we're getting finally more pushback from states all across the country, and in particular, Nevada, Massachusetts, seemingly are trying to lead the forefront.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
The level of hockey is being played. Like, if you're not really into the NHL, you should watch this and you will enjoy it. Like, it's a different level of hockey. Like, the NHL, basically, there's like 6 really good guys on each team. And in the Olympics, like, every guy is good. Like, it's next level. It's something to behold.
Winter Games Central. Only on SportsGrid.
George Rutschman is an interesting one here. I mean, this was somebody that we were told was going to be a superstar. I feel like we've done this now with back-to-back young catchers on Baltimore that they've taken. They've taken Matt Wieters. Remember when they took him super high and everyone thought he was the second coming? Then they took Adley Rutschman. I guess the good news is they have Sam Basallo, who's supposed to be fantastic too, but can't whiff on 3 like that, can you?
Fantasy Sports Today. Only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Today's top spread lines brought to you on a Thursday edition of the Early Line right here on the Sports Grid Network. We're going to head to some Sun Belt action to get your day started. We'll get to the NBA. They get back on the court tonight. 6:30 p.m., though. Marshall taking on App State. Boone, North Carolina. Opening line overnight, Joe, 2.5. Marketplace where it sits today, 2.5 across the board. A total of 143.5. Fun matchup here. Why? Marshall, number 1 in conference play on offense in efficiency. App State's defense, number 1 in conference play in efficiency here. Something has to give tonight, Joe. What's that spread line for Marshall App State?
I got to tell you, the Sun Belt is nuts, Donnie, what's happening right now in there, because you've got a 8-5 Marshall team taking on the first place App State team at 10-5. But there are 6 teams, Donnie, that are within 1.5 games of App State for first place. So every one of these games in the Sun Belt coming up over the next couple of weeks are going to have a huge effect on who ends up taking down the Sun Belt. And seeding, of course, we always know matters there because the Sun Belt likely only going to get one team into the tournament. But the best part is none of these teams are better or worse than anybody else. I mean, it is truly a coin flip league. And right now you're looking at what, 2.5 overnight. We're waking up. We're seeing still 2.5s, maybe a 3. We're seeing some 2s. We are getting nothing but coin flips here, I think, from this point on in this conference. And I don't think this is any different, Donnie. And I'll tell you this, home court matters in the Sun Belt. It has all season. Given that, I like App State here tonight to be able to hold on and get it done in first place.
Let's go down to the Yangling Center in Tampa Bay, Florida. The American Conference here. You're going to have Memphis taking on South Florida. Joe, that line overnight sat at 8.5. Still sits at most outlets this morning at 8.5. A 158.5 to 159.5 number, depending on where you're shopping at live. If you look at the matchup in this one, University of South Florida on offense, number 2 in efficiency in conference play. Memphis's defense, number 1 in efficiency in conference play. Once again, a good matchup here, but an 8.5-point number, Joe. The spread line for you for Memphis and South Florida is what?
Well, you know, the American Athletic Conference, it's interesting, Donnie. We thought that maybe Tulsa a month ago was going to run away with this conference because they looked unbeatable. Well, 3 straight losses later, and now South Florida is the team that sits atop of the American Athletic Conference. And listen, Memphis, could this be Penny's last year? A lot of people say he is on the hot seat, but over the years, he's done a great job as a dog in this role here. So South Florida has really leveled up their game. They can drop 80, 90 points on anybody. Can they stop Memphis here, though? This is really, you're fighting for Penny's job as far as I'm concerned with Memphis because nothing else is going to happen for them postseason-wise. But this feels like a big number for South Florida. And if they end up covering it, could be bye-bye for Penny Hardaway.
Teams with tempo in the OVC tonight, Joe. The Lindenwood Lions taking on Tennessee State. -3.5 overnight. Still sits at most outlets right now at -3.5. And I said we had some tempo in this game. Nice little juicy total, 162.5. Number 1 most efficient conference team on offense. That's Tennessee State here. They're at home. They're the favorites, Joe. What's your spread line?
Again, this is another absolutely crazy conference, the OVC, right? Because number 1 through number 6 are all separated by just 2 games, Donnie. So tonight, Lindenwood, who sits in 6th place, and we've got a Tennessee State team who is tied with 3 other teams there for 2nd place. Both of these teams can technically grab the regular season crown with 4 games to go. So this is, I mean, back and forth. Here we go. 22-12 or 13-7. Lindenwood has been very good at times this year, Donnie, and looked like they could run away with this conference, but they've hit the skids recently. But my goodness, again, home court matters this time of season. And Tennessee State, they've been pretty good there, Donnie. It feels like they got a big edge in this game against Lindenwood tonight.
Let's get back to business in the association tonight. Full slate starts with Detroit and the New York Knicks. This game's going to take place at 7:30 p.m. Madison Square Garden. Overnight line -3.5 as a favorite towards the Knicks. That's now gone as high as -4.5 at most outlets here in a total of 223.5 live. Pistons, Knicks, long layoff. Your spread line tonight. What is that?
Well, this series this year, Donnie, has been all one-sided. I mean, the Knicks have been dominated by the Pistons in the previous games that they have played. So the question is, no Duran, right? He's still part of that suspension group there from the pushing and shoving in the fight with Charlotte before the All-Star break. So that's why we've seen a lot of Knicks money hitting the board over the last 24 hours. But wouldn't shock me if this game goes flying over this total, too. Feels like a low total in this one here tonight. 2 teams that know one another. Can the Knicks finally level up and get one back here against the Eastern Conference leading Detroit Pistons?
Out to the West Coast we go here. When we said lines are moving here, a lot of information coming through, players in, players out. That's going to change circumstances here. Overnight, the Boston Celtics and the Golden State Warriors were listed at -2 at a few outlets here. That's no longer the case. We're up as high as -5.5 at outlets here in a total. That absolutely crashed, Joe, from 223.5 down to 212.5. Getting the grip coming back out of the All-Star break sometimes is tough. Is it a Boston Celtics night? What's the spread line for you on Celtics Warriors?
Well, two interesting stories. One, Porzingis playing in this game, first time here for the Golden State Warriors. Unfortunately, he won't be playing alongside his new teammate, Steph Curry. Steph Curry has been ruled out for this game. So, and it's kind of unfortunate here because it would have been great to see Porzingis going up against his former team, the Celtics, here tonight. Would have been nice to see what this new look Golden State Warriors team is going to look like. But we're going to have to wait because Steph Curry may not be back even this week, they're saying. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But outside of that, you're seeing nothing but Celtics money coming in on the road. Never an easy place to play, Donnie. And look at that total. That total is low for a Boston Celtics team that shoots the three as well as they do.
Yeah, just taking a look at some of these crazy lines tonight, too. Like Hawks are going to take on the Philadelphia 76ers overnight -5. Then all of a sudden, Joel Embiid's still injured and probably got even more injured over the break with a shin injury. -5 to -1.5 now. The Cavaliers and the Brooklyn Nets -13 to -16.5 or more here. The Houston Rockets, Charlotte Hornets, Joe, -2.5 is an opening number, up to 4.5. Tonight is a crazy night. Very hard to see how these guys with a week off come back to play, but you can find those gems. You can cash in some tickets. We'll be right back after this short break for more of the early line.
Like, Dan, this is going to be a year where we're going to really find out if prediction markets are going to kind of work beyond what we currently know. Because while they are expanding and other companies are certainly getting into it, we're getting finally more pushback from states all across the country, and in particular, Nevada, Massachusetts, seemingly are trying to lead the forefront.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
The level of hockey is being played. Like, if you're not really into the NHL, you should watch this and you will enjoy it. Like, it's a different level of hockey. Like, the NHL, basically, there's like 6 really good guys on each team. And in the Olympics, like, every guy is good. Like, it's next level. It's something to behold.
Winter Games Central. Only on SportsGrid.
George Rutschman is an interesting one here. I mean, this was somebody that we were told was going to be a superstar. I feel like we've done this now with back-to-back young catchers on Baltimore that they've taken. They've taken Matt Wieters. Remember when they took him super high and everyone thought he was the second coming? Then they took Adley Rutschman. I guess the good news is they have Sam Basallo, who's supposed to be fantastic too, but can't whiff on 3 like that, can you?
Fantasy Sports Today. Only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Winter Olympics winding down, only 4 days left of competition, but here on the early line on the SportsGrid Network, we like to keep you updated on a day-to-day basis what that medal count is nation by nation. Take a look at it from yesterday, Joe. Norway, 15 gold, 8 silver, 10 bronze. They lead the total medal count with 33, followed by Italy at 26, Team USA 24, Japan 22, and Germany 21. The leader in the silver category, it's the United States of America here. A few days left. A lot of competition still up in the air.
There is, Donnie, and if you were dabbling in any of the prediction markets here and total medals and total gold medals, obviously Norway, Donnie, was the favorite to get both the most gold and the most overall, and they're living up to that hype as the chalk. And we had said, wow, why are they such a big favorite? Well, I think they're showing us why they're such a big favorite to rack up all these golds.
Let's get to the championship rounds and the gold medal rounds. How do you do that, Joe? You got to win some of these knockout games, get to the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and continue to advance. Hughes scored a goal yesterday. It was in overtime. Let's hear from him.
Hell of a game out there. You took down the game winner. I mean, what did that feel like?
Yeah, just a relief. Just really enjoying being here with this group and the guys, and trying to extend it as long as I can.
Right on. And then USA flags all over the place. You could hear the chants. Yeah. What's that atmosphere like?
Yeah, it's special. I mean, I love the U.S. and it's the greatest country in the world. So happy to represent it here with these guys, and it's really special.
Nice. Last one. What are you taking from tonight into Slovakia?
I don't know. I think you just want to move on and be ready to go and get your feet up the next 24 hours and then be ready to go.
Right on, man. Thank you.
Can you tell us what you saw in that final play?
I mean, just tried to create some space for myself and, was able to get it to my forehand and get a shot off.
Okay, thank you.
When the definition of like a skilled athlete, like in hockey, like you understand, like there's other sports like football, you have great skills, and NBA, great skills, great athletes. But to be able to do this on ice while you're skating, just watch that overtime goal and figure out yourself like, I think I could have been an NHL player when I was a kid. No, you can't, Joe. My goodness, man.
Yeah, and Donnie, I mean, the way he did it, and again, these guys, I noticed it in the Canada overtime game as well. I mean, these guys were sucking wind in overtime, make a sweat. Like, these guys were huffing and puffing, and they tried to get him off that ice. And he refused to get off the ice, and a couple of minutes later, or a couple of seconds later, actually, is when he ends up scoring it. How are you skating to the left, and then you fire that shot all the way to the right? Was just unbelievable. It was the thing of beauty, and it's why Team USA is moving on.
How about this sport breakdown from 1994 to 2022 at the Winter Olympics? The percentages of gold medals won per country here. Look at the luge and the bobsled. Germany, 72% of the gold medals since 1994 in the luge went to Germany. In the bobsled, 56% went to Germany. Domination up top there.
You think? No, I don't know what's going on with the bobsled there, but apparently they've got their finger on the pulse on how to go ahead and just take down gold medals. That's kind of crazy, but hey, listen, you come to expect it in the Winter Olympics. I didn't expect Italy to rack up as many medals as they've racked up here either this year.
And by the way, I thought like AI runs rampant across like social media. You don't know what to believe or not believe. And it's like, oh, look, there's a dog running across the finish line with a couple cross-country skiers. Like, of course, that's AI. No, it isn't. And it wasn't just any dogs, like a wolf dog out there that got loose and just decided to finish the race along with the people. A nice little spot here for the Winter Olympics, Joe.
Yeah, dog gets out. It's like, oh, you want to race? All right, we can race. Yeah, it was actually pretty cool. The video and the pictures of it are actually pretty funny. There's it cruising, because it's certainly not something you expected to see, Donnie. If you were watching that, you're like, wait a minute, what is that? Who is that? What country was the dog in, Donnie? I'm sure.
A wolf dog got loose out there. Somebody just brought their dog to the competition, wanted to have a little bit of fun. That's what it turns out to be. How about this news to note here? Michaela Schifrin, which went a long time with winning gold medals, is now the youngest and also oldest American ever to win a gold in the slalom. 18 when she was young, 30 when, I guess 30 is old now, apparently.
Well, in that, apparently it is there. But talk about full circle, right? I mean, my goodness. Way to end it there. If this is her last one, right? Well, you go out on top, and that's the way that you do it.
What happened to Team USA here in snowboarding? Japan wins most golds 4 and total medals 9, all in big air, half pipe, and slope style. No U.S. snowboarder golds for the first time since Nagano in 1998. Isn't this? Didn't we create this sport? Why aren't we dominating this, Joe?
Again, some shady, and I mean shady judging going on here.
Let's get to college basketball. Big night last night, a lot of scoring and a lot of profit.
obviously I wanted to play golf. Like I grew up in England. I came to America on a scholarship because my aspiration was to play the European Tour. And then once I got to America, it was like the PGA Tour. And I think I'd always had kind of this affinity for like the swing and coaching and teaching and tinkering is probably the best way to say it. I'd say that's probably, which is a dangerous road to go, right?
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
St. Louis's defense, the best in conference play, which includes the best three-point shooting percentage against and also two-point shooting percentage against. You take a look at Loyola's offense, we pointed out to you the worst in conference play, and also they turn the basketball over 22% of the time, which basically means 1 out of every 4 times up the court, Joe, they don't even get a shot off. They're going to get their doors blown off tonight.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
The level of hockey is being played. Like, if you're not really into the NHL, you should watch this and you will enjoy it. Like, it's a different level of hockey. Like, the NHL, basically, there's like 6 really good guys on each team. And in the Olympics, like, every guy is good. Like, it's next level. It's something to behold.
Winter Games Central, only on SportsGrid.
No NBA, no NHL, no football to pay attention to. College basketball, we told you would be in the spotlight. And last week, Joe, coming from a tweet from ESPN PR, big ratings here. A few games over 1.5 million viewers here. And a lot of these big-time numbers, 1.8 million viewers for Florida and Kentucky. ABC's most watched men's basketball game since 2008, 2009. And also 1.8 million viewers for Arizona and Kansas. That big Monday game's averaging 1.5 million viewers, an 81% increase year over year. Now, understand this. The increases there that we take a look at, a little bit different ratings, but also this has a direct derivative of a lot of the people watching the NBA aren't missing the NBA and like, yeah, I love college basketball and we watch it.
You know why, Donnie? Because the kind of effort that you're seeing in college basketball, you can't help it to get drawn in. And listen, usually what happens this time of year is you have the people who love college basketball are diehards, hate the NBA. Those who like the NBA want nothing to do with college basketball. But it is kind of hard. I mean, it has been such a great year, and I think it's all being fueled in college hoops right now. Not because we have these crazy super teams, Donnie, which we were all afraid was going to rule the world, but because this might be the greatest crop of freshmen players that are legit NBA ready in this generation within 1 year that are going to be absolute difference makers with whoever they get drafted by coming up. But if you want to know why people are tanking in the NBA so bad right now, watch college hoops, Donnie. And this kid at Cuff Jr. last night for Arkansas tells you everything you need to know about this crop of freshmen who you've never even heard of.
Cuff Jr. played 50 minutes last night, scored 49 points. His team, they didn't even win that basketball game. 117-115 final, double overtime extravaganza in the SEC, which was won by Alabama. Both identical records now. Arkansas 19-7, 9-4 in the SEC. Same thing with Alabama. 19-7 overall, 9-4 in the SEC. What a game, what a comeback. 57-47. That was the halftime score, Joe. You got what you wanted.
We told you, don't expect any defense. It doesn't exist with these two teams. We told you the numbers, gave you on how many times. I mean, the combined stats of these two teams have been absolutely insane. Arkansas shot 60+% in the first. They were making everything they threw up there, and you're going, Donnie, there's no way they can keep this up, right? Well, Alabama shot 80% in the second half to not only come back, but ultimately eventually win the game. But just back and forth, zero defense, all offense. And you know what? We'll take that any day of the week.
Like when great shooters have space to shoot, it's a fun game to watch, and that's exactly what we got last night. Up, as Joe says, up and down the court, where it wasn't like, oh, it just worked out this way. Like one pass, two pass, wide open shot, blam, 3-point shot, away you go down the court. Fantastic stuff to watch it play out. Great comeback here, great game, double overtime. Love to see it. Let's get into the news and notes here of the association, where, Joe, we say to ourselves, if the players don't care, why should we care? And this coming from a guy that I don't really watch too much NBA basketball. Bet it, win it, because it's easy, because you just bet against the numbers. But once you get into the playoffs, they care and we care. The All-Star game, they cared this year. You know why we cared? Most people watch the All-Star game. But here's Mark Cuban, one of the stupidest takes you could possibly have. And sometimes I question his business merit, where, why did you sell the Dallas Mavericks, which if you hold on to another 5 years, they probably would have doubled or tripled in value, but you sold? Well, Mark Cuban says, the NBA should just embrace the tanking, which means on opening day, 3 or 4 teams have a legitimate chance to win the NBA championship. The rest of the 27 teams should just throw in the towel for all 82 games and embrace it. Did I get that right, Mark Cuban? Huh, Joe?
Yeah. Well, we talked about this yesterday on our Caffeinated Joe segment, where, listen, I'll give him credit, though. His idea that, hey, you know what? People should forget about who wins or loses and just, embrace the experience of the game. Experience. If I have teams tanking and I go to a game and spend my money, Donnie, and I'm watching a team get blown out by 40 points, that experience isn't great. But he also brought up the point where, listen, you can't make it impossible for teams to actually try to improve with your second apron taxes and everything else. They have made it virtually impossible to be able to improve your team outside of, you know what, I guess we got to wait for the draft, so let's lose as many games as possible.
Yeah, the NBA is just odd. Like, max contract has to be the same. Like, if they scrap that system, and yes, you still have to have somewhat of luxury tax because teams would spend way more than the others. But the way the NBA operates, like, if you build a team through great draft picks, you get penalized because you picked great players and other teams didn't here, so you can't keep those same players. But if you want to keep the same players, like Boston, look at Boston's franchise. All those talented players that they had, and their owners like, now's the time to get out. Like, wait a second. You're in the midst of probably a dynasty run. I can't afford it. I'm taking my money now. Let the next owner deal with this ridiculousness of how much you're going to have to pay some of these players. That should not happen at this point. But in the NBA, teams make money on a year-to-year basis. The league does very well. Despite what you want to say, they negotiated an unbelievable media rights deal over the next decade or so. They're living fine, and the players looking at their paychecks, they're doing as well. Let's take a look at the WNBA, where there's just a fight right now going on, and we will not have WNBA basketball next year. WNBA players are asking for an average of 27.5% of the league's revenue and team-provided housing for all players in the recent CBA discussions. The WNBA's response was, we can't do that. That will lose hundreds of millions of dollars for our teams here. And, Joe, let me ask you this question, too. Like, we understand, like high school basketball is supported by the town, property taxes pay for it, and we're associated with that. It's part of growing up here once you get 18 years old. But once you get to college, like the women's versus the men's, I'm not saying men's all around make a ton of money, but there are schools that have hundreds of millions of dollars in their war chest from football. But even like the best college basketball teams, women's side, like South Carolina, they lose on average $5 million per year. Does women's sports, is it just fun to watch and they should do it for fun? Because why is none of it ever profitable?
It's never profitable, Donnie, because, listen, out of sight, out of mind. The longer this drags on, Donnie, the longer we don't talk or see that. Okay, listen, for 20-some-odd years, they tried getting this thing up and running. And listen, they've had great moments. We've seen great players. But the bottom line is, from a business perspective, it hasn't worked. And now they're kind of drawing a line in the sand. They want housing the first couple. They're going over the top here. And the NBA's like, I don't know. I really don't know that this is going to happen. So somebody is going to have to fold at some point, Donnie. Otherwise, we're not seeing the WNBA anytime soon.
I always seem like Ponzi schemes. What I feel like, because I laugh. Like outside the NFL, we don't want to watch football outside of NFL season. And every year, The Rock and these guys are like, hey, we're going to start a new pro football league. It's going to be awesome. No, it sucks, and it sucks every single time you put it on TV and you go belly up and bankrupt, only to have a press conference the next year. Go like, we got a new league. The XFL3 is starting. Great, awesome. You'll play 6 games and fold up shop here. That's what I look at. But understand this: how do you have a league, Joe, since the mid-1990s when it began, all the way through now, that has lost hundreds of millions of dollars and still gives it a go? Is it just a tax write-off for the NBA? Is it the owners are so rich they need a tax write-off by losing money? I can't understand. In business, if you have a local pizza shop and you lost money 3 straight years, you are out of business, you are mortgaged, you are leveraged, you're out of it. How does the WNBA go like 35 years and hemorrhage money and still be around?
Yeah, and what's best is the current deal, or the first deal that the Players Association offered. I guess when they crunched the numbers, Donnie, you'd be looking at a $700 million deficit over the course of the agreement if the NBA owners agreed to that. So they're asking them to make more money. And in a result, they're asking the owners of the NBA to lose more money than they ever had over the life of the deal. Please make it make sense.
It doesn't make any sense. Again, unless it's just a Ponzi scheme for rich people to write off their taxes and do something illegally shady, like a shell corporation they have the WNBA, it makes no sense. But the best part about this is the negotiation from the women who are trying to play and, hey, get all the money you can. You don't make any money. What money is to pay you if the money is negative every single year? Hey, that's what I think. That's what it is. We'll be right back.
Like, Dan, this is going to be a year where we're going to really find out if prediction markets are going to kind of work beyond what we currently know. Because while they are expanding and other companies are certainly getting into it, we're getting finally more pushback from states all across the country, and in particular, Nevada, Massachusetts, seemingly are trying to lead the forefront.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
The level of hockey is being played. Like, if you're not really into the NHL, you should watch this and you will enjoy it. Like, it's a different level of hockey. Like, the NHL, basically, there's like 6 really good guys on each team. And in the Olympics, like, every guy is good. Like, it's next level. It's something to behold.
Winter Games Central. Only on SportsGrid.
George Rutschman is an interesting one here. I mean, this was somebody that we were told was going to be a superstar. I feel like we've done this now with back-to-back young catchers on Baltimore that they've taken. They've taken Matt Wieters. Remember when they took him super high and everyone thought he was the second coming? Then they took Adley Rutschman. I guess the good news is they have Sam Basallo, who's supposed to be fantastic too, but can't whiff on 3 like that, can you?
Fantasy Sports Today. Only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
NBA All-Star Weekend. We've been, it's taken a roundhouse punch the past 10 years because the players don't care, we don't care as a fan base, and nobody's watching. Well, they made a change and said, you know what, let's go world versus 2 Team USAs and see how that works out. The people liked it. Why? Because our favorite players just showed that they cared and actually wanted to win a competition. Isn't it that simple? Hey, look, my favorite player is playing hard. I'll watch that game. Or, hey, my favorite player is there, and it seems like he's shooting from half court and doesn't care. I'm going to tune this game out. Yeah, it makes some sense. Now, what the NBA is starting to do is say, you know what? How can we improve NBA Saturday night, which is the horrendous waste of time, just like the Pro Bowl games? Here's what they're trying to do, Joe. Potential options include one-on-one or two-on-two tournaments in addition to the slam dunk contest, three-point contest, and shooting stars competition. How about we do this? We don't do any of that on a Saturday night, Joe. We just have the All-Star game on a Sunday, and we put the dunk competition right before the All-Star game, which if you're in the All-Star game, you're the only people eligible. Not guys I never heard of in my entire life, so superstars play. Outside of that, I don't want to see it. And understand this, people. If you thought the dunk competition, which every single kid, NBA player, not from the minute they can dunk, let's just say in high school, they love to dunk and they love to put on a show for their friends. But once you get to the NBA, if you're a superstar and you lose the dunk competition, you lose a little of that aura that you have. So understand this. NBA All-Star players are going to show up to a competition of one-on-one, and heaven forbid they get beat in front of a national audience. No superstar is going to do that. So you know what we're going to see here? Mac McClung in the one-on-one competition versus Keydon Lewis, whoever that guy might be, Joe.
Yeah, right. So you did, like, NBA players want to get exposed on two-on-two games?
Exactly.
Like, absolutely.
Correct.
Like, absolutely not. But let's not escape the fact here, Donnie. Also, I mean, I know the NBA is trying to, frame this as if, because it was World versus Team USA that the ratings went. No, it didn't. You went from TNT to NBC. That's the difference. You brought more eyeballs, more TVs, more people with a chance to actually watch it than anything to do with Team USA versus the world. People aren't going to care about that. You just increased the possibility of the eyeballs taking it from TNT to NBC. Now, I don't mind the 1 versus 1, 2 versus. Sign me up. The whole King of the Court thing is great. The problem is, I don't know how many of these NBA players are actually going to want to involve themselves with that. And look, take all the heat on social media and everything else when they get absolutely torched. I don't know. You don't have that generation. There are no Kobe Bryants who would take on anyone or anywhere, right? Who's left, Donnie?
Yeah. They don't, again, if the most joy you can get in the world is somebody can just go out there and dunk all the time. They dunk in games left and right. Hey, wouldn't it be great if you put on a dunk competition against your peers? I'm not doing that. Yeah. This guy beats me. That's going to be, my shoe sales might go down, and I'll be a meme on Twitter because I'm a bad dunker here at this point. You think they want to go one-on-one? Hey, LeBron, your last All-Star games next year. What do you want to go one-on-one? And Steph Curry beats him. I knew LeBron always sucked at this, but that's what you're going to get. One-on-one competition. And by the way, nobody wants to see a one-on-one competition. There's a reason why you go down to the court, right? Let's just say, hey, go back to your teenage years. Hey, it's packed down here. What are we playing, guys? Oh, it's just a big one-on-one tournament. Said nobody ever. We like 5-on-5. That's what we play. Keep it the same. Keep it simple. That's all we ask for here. Flip it over to Major League Baseball. They ousted a guy who was running their union. Why? Because he was completely corrupt and also ran a corrupt front office, and he's ruining families left and right. MLBA Players Association elected Bruce Meyer as their new executive director, and I believe he's in interim, or they make him full-time already, Joe?
Yeah, I think they made. Yeah, I think they. They named him the interim director because of it, but it looks like they might have had a. I didn't think they were going to, they made it seem like we want to get it right this time. We're going to take our time figuring out who it's going to be. But that might have been scrapped and right to the thing and said, all right, let's go. This guy was the guy that sounds like to me, Donnie, like why Clark was busy texting inappropriate things to his sister-in-law. It sounds like Bruce Meyer was really the brains behind the operation to begin with.
The front man. You always see that, too. It's like, you go back, you watch some things like, hey, Dick Cheney was really running the country under Bush at this point now. Maybe it is the background guy that was always pulling the strings, and maybe he takes center stage now. Los Angeles Angels, 16 years of Mike Trout. And what could have been without all the injuries of where those numbers would be, the legendary status. This was the can't-miss kid who, quite frankly, is still going to the Hall of Fame. But it's amazing. It's been in one uniform for all those years, and the shame of it is, you never even got to see that guy really do anything in the postseason because the Angels have stunk the entire time he has been there, it feels like.
Yeah, and here's a quick reminder that at one point, maybe two of the greatest players of a generation were on the same team together. Ohtani and him. And let's face it, They couldn't make it work, Donnie. I mean, and you've got to try really hard to be that inept when you have those two guys on the roster together. It's mind blowing.
Like it doesn't even add up because they even tried to spend some money, but just couldn't put the right pieces around it. But my favorite thing about imagine if you had, Joe, the single greatest asset in the history of professional sports, monetarily and possibly on the field, Shohei Ohtani, and you got nothing in return for that guy because you let him walk as a free agent. Never forgive that. That should have been, like, if you knew really what you had, Joe, that's 7 of the best prospects in baseball coming back to you at a trade at the deadline just for the possibility of a rental for Ohtani. They got nothing back. You know who else is getting nothing back? Manuel Clase and Luis Ortiz pleading not guilty in pitch rigging case here. I bet you they're not getting anything back now. Or are they still trying to bet through other players in Major League Baseball? Can they keep it going?
Well, that'd be interesting to see here, Donnie. But it sounds like they're also kicking the can down the road here. And I guess any sort of court appearances sounds like it's been pushed down to October now. So we may not get any sort of, finality to this. And let's be realistic, Donnie. Come October, November, that means the season will likely be over before anything really juicy comes out. It won't affect this Major League Baseball season, will it?
Nope. How about this? And now it's like once you start the season injured, typically you stay injured here. I think I might be fading the Braves this year. Like, no, if they have any pitchers available to start the season, Joe, just like last year, it's just a bad year, they're injured. Everybody injured again on the Braves?
Pretty much, yeah. And we got a few teams already like that where we're racking up some big name guys, Donnie, that we won't see anytime soon to start the season. Kind of crazy. The injuries keep piling up.
I'll tell you what's crazy tomorrow, Joe. Start of the Major League Baseball spring training season. You're going to see home runs, people. Woo! Needed it big time. We'll be right back.
Like, Dan, this is going to be a year where we're going to really find out if prediction markets are going to kind of work beyond what we currently know. Because while they are expanding and other companies are certainly getting into it, we're getting finally more pushback from states all across the country, and in particular, Nevada, Massachusetts, seemingly are trying to lead the forefront.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
The level of hockey is being played. Like, if you're not really into the NHL, you should watch this and you will enjoy it. Like, it's a different level of hockey. Like, the NHL, basically, there's like 6 really good guys on each team. And in the Olympics, like, every guy is good. Like, it's next level. It's something to behold.
Winter Games Central. Only on SportsGrid.
George Rutschman is an interesting one here. I mean, this was somebody that we were told was going to be a superstar. I feel like we've done this now with back-to-back young catchers on Baltimore that they've taken. They've taken Matt Wieters. Remember when they took him super high and everyone thought he was the second coming? Then they took Adley Rutschman. I guess the good news is they have Sam Basallo, who's supposed to be fantastic too, but can't whiff on 3 like that, can you?
Fantasy Sports Today. Only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
You like golf? We all love golf here. Did you like Pebble Beach last week? That Pro-Am, Colin Morikawa with a victory here after roughly 900 days of not getting any victories on the PGA Tour? Well, we got more this week here. We're headed to L.A. Scotty Scheffler, Rory McIlroy, Tommy Fleetwood, Hideki Matsuyama, Xander Schauffele, Patrick Cantlay, and a host of people, which includes Tiger Woods on premises here. A really good tournament, Joe, which I guess is teeing off in a matter of hours here on the West Coast.
Yeah, it is, and it's always a good tournament here, right? Tiger is kind of the host of this here. The Riviera Country Club is one of the best on tour, and it's the second signature event, which means that the money is increased, and that means you're going to get the world's best going at it before they head back east to the Florida swing here. And good luck. It just feels like Scotty Scheffler, the last couple of rounds, Donnie, he has shot in the 70s. Like, he has put himself behind the 8-ball, so to speak, but still manages to figure out how to show up top 3, top 5. Can he maybe turn that around and lead after the first round? If he does, good luck to everyone else.
During the COVID era, Colin Morikawa was tearing it up, winning major championships, and sort of disappeared for a little bit, then won at Pebble Beach last week, stacked $3.6 million into his account. Feeling good on a win streak, possibly? Let's hear from him.
It's, probably one of my favorite events that we have all year, not just because of LA, but I think how great this golf course is, Riviera Country Club. It's going to play a little bit different, I think, because of the soft greens and the rain and the rough's not up too much. But it still is one of the best courses we have out on tour. And having a lot of friends, family come out, it just makes the week that much more exciting. It's a long week for me, but everything's worth it. Whether you play great or not. But the goal is, to kind of continue this momentum or whatever I had the last couple days, Saturday, Sunday, last week, into the rest of the season.
It's like an NFL season, Joe, right? You have a big week on Sunday. You win on Sunday. It's like, hey, I don't care what you did. Get on a plane, fly down there, go win another tournament.
Yeah, why not, right? I mean, go get it done here. Listen, he's always had the skills. He's plenty of opportunities over the last couple of years, Donnie, for him to actually win some tournaments, but just the putter failed him. Then he was firing caddies. On Sunday, he was nowhere to be found. So whatever it is, it all came together for him last week at Pebble Beach. Now we'll see if that rolls over into the rest of the season.
Is Rory ever happy here? We got a video of him being unhappy with the par 3 fourth at Riviera.
Well, it does, 15% of the field hit the green last time when it was played at its original yardage at 230. And if you want it to be a 275-yard par 3, you have to change the apron leading up onto the green. It can't be Kikuyu. It has to be another type of grass that can help you run it onto the green, because, again, in the right conditions, you try to fly that ball on the green, it's landing, with a 3-iron, it's going to finish up on the 5th tee box. So that's sort of what I mean of why it's not a great change.
No, he's right about one thing, Joe. I played a lot of golf in my life. People get excited with a 150 or less par 3. Like, hey, 127, let me dial in this wedge here and knock it stiff. And then every once in a while you get up and say, wait, this is 222 on this. And again, 222, you can be able to hit the green, but your chances of par being an average golfer go way down at that point. And now as a pro, it's like, hey, why don't you basically get driver on a par 3? It's like, help us out at least a little bit. So he is right there.
Yeah, he is. I mean, listen, it's great for the fans, right? 275 yards. Let's see who can drive the green, and I get it. But, that is extremely difficult to do. And what his point is, if there's nowhere to lay up on it, you're going to be penalizing guys right off the bat. Yeah. So it is interesting. But this whole course is about guys that can hit mid to long irons, and those that do it well, yeah, well, basically, they'll be at the top of the leaderboard in this one.
Let's squeak in a little Scotty Scheffler, who told you before. He doesn't really like to play golf. What's his tune this time?
Secondly, when you talk about how hard you work to get good at this game, how do you measure how good you are?
I have no idea, Doug. I have no idea.
Is it scores? Is it trophies? Is it stats? I mean, how do you know you're good?
I don't. I think that's why we keep practicing. You never get to a place where you feel like you got it figured out. And I always like practicing and trying to improve and creating new shots. I think golf is kind of the endless pursuit of trying to figure something out. And I mean, I'm never going to get there, but there's no harm in trying.
I need a villain, Joe. I need a villain, or I need a courageous guy in leading in front. Why was Tiger Woods so polarizing out there? Because you knew he had that fire and ice on the golf course. Scotty Scheffler was like, hey, man, I had no idea. Just won again. How? No clue. We'll be right back. Hour number 2.